The first activity to carry out your students in the book Seriously Fun Maths is the doggy examination. It emerged from a real-life situation. My friend and colleague, Dr. Keiko Bostwick, had gotten a rescue dog that had some issues because of his past. Poor Buddy got nervous around some people, but not everyone. It wasn't as obvious as he's afraid of men. It seemed more random than that. So as mathematicians, we realized we can collect some data and use logical reasoning to figure it out. And so we did. We noticed that there were multiple features that concerned the dog, and it didn't help if somebody had a combination of those features. With the help of maths, my colleague Keiko was able to better support his dog through the early stages of his training. And with the help of this case, we are able to grow our maths knowledge applied to everyday, real life. I made it a task that was a bit simpler than the actual case mentioned, with the use of images from photo banks of people that the dog is or isn't nervous around. I tested the task with my own kids first, and they became very engaged. They were also very puzzled by the idea of there not being one clear feature. It took them a surprisingly long time, and my scaffolding was needed to realize there could be more than one feature, which could of course be the case. You are afraid of more than just one thing, right? It's understandable if you are made nervous by both spiders and an airplane fight. Maths tasks often take learners out of their everyday reasoning. It has been shown in studies that similar tasks given in both maths class and in a relaxed setting are treated very differently. In a maths class, people get stuck with the idea of there must be a correct strategy that is expected of me. I can only make a mistake with this. Whereas in real life, we unhesitantly apply any strategy to make progress. I wanted to start the book with this activity because it is a great task to blow away the dusty beliefs of what maths is all about. We need to bust the negative image of maths being useless and irrelevant in solving everyday issues. The number of girls studying maths is getting lower and lower, and the interest towards maths keeps declining. Experts suggest a solution is in showing how maths can be used to solve issues, large and small, that are of interest to our younger generations. This is done throughout the book. But we need a bit of a disclaimer here. In the book, I give explicit guidance of teacher skills that anyone can adapt to develop as a teaching professional. It is important to notice that those skills really are needed when introducing tasks that, yes, are maths, but no, not traditional maths. I will give you an example. In my maths method course for future primary teachers, we discussed two tasks that address the exact same mathematical process, but were very different in nature. Here's the first one. As you can see, it is traditional maths. Some know how to solve it, some do not, but everyone knows more or less what this is about. It is a maths task that one would solve on a worksheet in a maths class using a correct strategy and getting the right answer. Here is the second one. Now, this is very different. My students said that this is very challenging since you have to read it first and think about it, and it's not clear what the question even is. But they also had just read about the difference between individual working and collaborative investigations. So they acknowledged that prompting, communication and reasoning will be possible with the latter task. I told my students that open, innovative activities result in outcomes that enrich the learning process in a very critical and important way, and they also must be treated very differently. If you want your students to start talking, arguing, setting hypotheses, explaining their thinking, showing working, in other words, working mathematically to process their understanding, you need different kinds of tasks than the traditional ones. You need phone battery tasks or doggy examination tasks, but you also need to know how to orchestrate such activities. These kinds of tasks do not work at all if you expect individual work where your students know what to do and apply a few exercise strategies to get the right answer. Here's how I run these kinds of activities. What can you see here? People? A dog? What do the yes and no's mean? Is the dog scared or not scared of some of these people? Does this make any sense? What makes the dog nervous? Oh, someone said men and someone said glasses. But in a real situation at this stage, I would have shut up already. All I really have to do is show the prompts, push just a little. Basically, just chat a bit to kill the first minutes when students are making observations, reflecting on what they see. And then they start talking. I do not want to interfere. They do it by themselves. They start a dispute, and only if they need it, I may subtly say things like, "Are you sure it is only one thing he is concerned about?" But this is only the start of open investigations. How to keep students on the activities, how to support all learners, how to help overcome hurdles. All that will be discussed in the next chapters in the book Seriously Fun Maths, as well as in the coming mini videos. Thank you for watching.